Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome to this year's edition of the Terry's Flooring Billy Kaylor Show, where we cover everything on the field with the Chcukey-Doak Black Knights football team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Billy Kaylor. Coach, how's it been?
Man, it's been good. Been crazy, but it's been good.
Summers went by. Football season's now upon us. Today was the first day of school. From what I understand, kind of didn't go the way that a lot of teachers wanted it to yesterday and today with the Wi-Fi and such like that. I heard it was kind of an issue countywide.
Yeah, and that Wi-Fi goes out nowadays. It kind of hamstrings you, so we had to get together best we could. But overall, it's a pretty decent day.
I know today was the first day of school. Kind of getting acclimated to everything. What is it they call it? Syllabus day?
Yeah.
Is that the first day?
Get all the fun first day stuff out of the way, but it wasn't bad.
First day was always the easiest. Second day was always the hardest because the first day you go in there, you meet the teacher, they tell you what you're going to do. Second day is when you open up those textbooks and you get rolling.
That's right. Gotta get after it.
Always the worst day. So the first day was always easy. Now you go in, well, for you it's not bad because you're a teacher. But for the students and the players that might be watching this, I know the second day is always the hardest. But let's talk about some football.
All right.
I think today, the day that we're recording this, we're 17 days away.
Yep.
You kick off on that Friday night with Unaka on the road. Before that, you've got the Jamboree coming up here soon also. But let's talk about the roster. Let's talk about the boys that'll be strapping up with the pads and helmets this year in black and gold. Take us through your roster, whatever way you want to do it, whether you want to go seniors to freshmen, numerical, or by starting positions. Just take us through the roster and tell us who's going to be suiting up for the Black Knights this year.
Well, we'll go seniors too. We'll go old to young. And got a small senior class this year. Got Jonah Cochran. Has been long snapping for us. He's been done a really good job this year, really developed. Billy Hanlon's going to really worked on his kicking, going to try to take over some from Marco Rojas from where he graduated last year and done a good job playing a little outside backer too. Hayden Roper played linebacker, running back for us last year. He's going to do the same. He's had a really great summer, worked really hard, and he's really developing into a leader. James Seidel, he's going to be kind of a Swiss Army knife for us. He can do a little bit of anything, play some defensive end, he can play interior, he can play a little tight end, maybe some tackle if we need him to.
Walking through the weight room whenever I walk through, I see that he's probably one of the strongest on the team too because his name was on the top of some of those lists.
Yeah, he's worked really hard in the weight room and done a good job. And then Weston Ward's also returning as offensive lineman, defensive lineman. He's had a good summer so far as well. So that's kind of our senior class, a small group, graduated a ton last year. So we're a really young team this year, but we got a lot of really good talent coming down the bottom of the roster there age-wise. Moving into our junior class, we kind of bell cow there is Dominique Atchison. Had a kind of a breakout year last year as a defensive back and receiver for us. So we've been playing some quarterback, going to be playing some safety, probably some corner too. He's a really great player. He's really developing into a leader. So it's been fun to watch him develop. I've been very proud of him. Dom Henlin is going to play some receiver and some DB for us, well, probably some safety. He's had a good summer, as well as Ethan Highmiller. Both those guys play on both sides of the ball. Gage Hill's been another one who's really come along and grown this summer. He'll tote the ball for us a little bit. He'll play some outside backer. He's had a really good summer. He's matured a lot as a young man and turning into a leader as well. Will Johnson plays kind of a Swiss Army knife role for us as well. He can play safety, he can play corner, he can play receiver, and he can play a little bit of quarterback if things get tight. So he's done a good job too. He's a great kid. Gavin Patrick has really developed. He's come a long way from his sophomore year. Had a good day yesterday at Sullivan East. We scrimmaged, and he had a good day, really coming down the hill at safety and making some tackles for us. So I've been proud of him. Austin Schwartz, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, played sparingly as a sophomore. He's going to really have to step up this year as a junior and help lead the front on both sides of the ball. And he's worked hard this summer as well. Danny Tuberville had a really good day at outside backer for us yesterday. He's going to be able to help us. He's a wrestler and played last year and has really grown and developed this summer. So he had a really good day. I was proud of him yesterday, really helping us. And then we got a new one, Taven Cuddy. Okay. He's didn't play last year. I think he plays as a freshman. But he's very athletic, very explosive, great kid. He's going to help us at defensive back and then probably at receiver some as well. So he's been a good addition for us.
The junior class is the big class. Senior class you see on there, you've got a little bit, and then that sophomore class, it kind of grows a little bit more.
The junior class is big, sophomore class, the freshman class is huge.
I see that too. You've got about the same.
We've got a second page for the freshmen. So,
okay, so the freshman class is the biggest.
That's right. So in our sophomore class, we've got a lot of kids in our sophomore class that didn't play as freshmen, which you hate because they miss a year to develop. But we got a lot of new bodies out. and they're working really, really hard. One of the things I've been super proud of our team this year is how much we improved in our summer attendance and how hard they've worked this summer. That was something that we battled last year, and those guys have bought in, and we were probably running 85% on average of our roster here in the summer, maybe a little bit higher than that. So it was really, really good. Chris Bible is a new face, didn't play as a freshman. He's really developed. He'll be an offensive line, defensive line guy. He's a thicker kid, but pretty athletic, very smart, and he's learning a lot. I don't know that he's played before, but he's really, really developed. Abe DeLeon is another freshman or a sophomore lineman, excuse me. And he's a big kid with a great attitude, and he's working really hard and developing. He's not one that's played before either, so there's a long way to go, but he's doing a good job. Braden Green played some as a freshman for us. He'll play a lot as a sophomore, both at Mike Backer and at slot receiver, and he'll be on all our special teams. And he's developing into a leader. He's a great football player. He's a great kid. He's really, really worked his tail off. Got a lot stronger. And the game's starting to slow down for him a little bit, which is what you worry about with young kids. Speed of the game hits them fast, and it's starting to slow down for him a little bit. And he's kind of running our defense and doing a good job, making calls and getting strengths and stuff that's hard for a sophomore to do.
Yeah, I can see that.
Jasper Kesterson is
we got a runaway ball.
Yep, runaway. Jasper Kesterson's a sophomore lineman. He had a really, really great summer. Got dinged up late in the summer, so we're waiting to get him back. But he's going to have a chance to break the lineup on both sides of the ball if he continues to develop. He's a little smaller, on the smaller side for a lineman, but he plays twice his size and works really, really hard and is extremely coachable. So we're excited to get him back hopefully in the next few days. Garrett Morgan Garrett Morgan didn't play last year either. Another big-bodied sophomore. Who's developing. And then you have Sean Rayon and Spencer Numley, who both have made more strides than I thought possible in the last year. Both those guys played for us as freshmen, and they have really, really stepped up and being way more physical. Still got a long way to go, but they are improving drastically day in and day out. And then Caleb Stamper, same thing. He played for the first time as a freshman last year, and he has really stepped up. Right now he's starting to guard and at nose for us and probably will stay there. He's had a really great summer as well. So that's kind of the sophomore class.
Now the big freshman class.
The big freshman class. We got a lot of them. Kipton Ball was a great player at the middle school. He's quarterback. He can play a little defensive back, but he's primarily a quarterback. He's going to be a great player. He had a kind of welcome to high school football moment last night. We were at Scrimmage Cloudland, and we were at Sullivan East with Scrimmage Cloudland. Took a good shot and popped right back, was ready to go today, and it's good to see him bounce back. It can be a tough thing for a freshman to get popped by a senior on a sprint out there. So
there's a big size and age gap there.
There is. He's going to be a really, really good player for us. We're happy to have him. Then we got the Britt brothers, Marcus and Jaden Britt. Both of those guys developed great. Marcus is going to play some for us as a linebacker and maybe even as a running back, get some carries. Jaden's really developing as a linebacker and kind of trying to crack into playing a little bit of quarterback too, so we'll see how that develops. But both of those kids work really hard, very coachable. Really, really glad to see them continue to develop. We've got Hudson Cox, who's a freshman with got great size on him. He's developing as well. He's kind of outside backer, receiver body, very athletic. Skylar Davis is I hesitate to say because it's a lot to put on a kid, but he's very similar athletically to Brock Rush.
Okay.
Obviously, he's not Brock as a senior because he's a baby, but he's extremely explosive, electric with the ball in his hands. His upside is super high. He's going to probably start for us at corner in the slot. He's very explosive. I'm excited to see him continue to develop too as a freshman. We put a lot on him as a freshman. He's really answered it. Then we got Logan Goins and Micah Gross. Those two freshman linemen are developing as well. Good size on them, good strong kids for freshmen, so a lot of upside to them. And then Connor Hall has had a great summer. He's was a great player there at the middle school as well, and he's going to have a chance to earn some quality time as a starter if he continues to play well at center, and he'll probably rotate some of the defensive line. So that's a big shoes for a freshman to be the guy snapping the ball, but he seems to be up to the task right now.
It's exciting, though.
It is. A lot of young linemen, and that's what you really want. We got Mason Henderson, big long-legged thing. He's tall and long and skinny. There's a ton of them. long and tall and skinny, but he's a really good player. He's a baseball player and basketball kid too, so he's a well-rounded athlete. Very smart, very coachable. He'll have a chance to earn some playing time at both safety and receiver, and he might even punt for us a little bit. He's got a pretty good little leg on him too, so him and Billy will kind of battle out that. Billy Hanlon will battle out that punting job. Then we go to Kobe Love, who's another explosive little freshman who's worked his tail off this summer. Is going to hopefully we've got 6 or 7 JVs games scheduled. He's going to play in all those, and I think he'll be a really good player for us as he continues to develop. Him and Hayden Painter in the same boat right there. Both of them good little athletes that can develop for us. Parker McMurray, great kid. A little bit undersized for a lineman, but he's really explosive. He plays really hard. He'll have a chance to earn some quality time, either as a rotational or starting defensive end, one of the two. He's going to be a really good player for us. He'll probably be a little tight end too down the road. I don't know that we'll put that on him as a freshman.
He'll grow into it.
If he's playing a lot on Friday nights, it's a lot to put on a young kid. But certainly it's going to help us a lot. He's going to be a really good player for us. Christian Tuberville's got a great frame on him. He's worked really hard. He's the offensive lineman. His brother Danny's outside linebacker, and he's got a great frame and is extremely coachable and getting better every day. Lance Turner Armstrong is another one that's a good size freshman, great size. You can't coach that, you know.
You can't coach size and height.
No, you can't coach size and height. So he's got a lot of learning to do, but he's got the physical attributes for sure, and is very coachable and willing to do what we ask him to. And then Pierce Dodge and Tyler Beam are both kids that are new to us, and they both worked their tails off, and they've improved more in the summer maybe than I've ever seen a freshman improve, both those kids. So they'll both have opportunities to get a lot of experience playing those JV games, and all the scout team reps they want, and continue to improve, which is really, you know, those young kids, they need to play. You know, repetition's the best teacher. So we have enough this year that we can play all the JV games we have scheduled and get those kids reps, and they're doing a great job on the scout team, giving us a good look. They've committed to the weight room, so it's been a good summer for us.
That was one thing I was going to mention. There were a lot of names that you went through, and that's a good thing too, because when you have that many bodies on a football team, that means you've got a good program under you. That means you've got a lot turning out that want to play football for you too. And a lot of those players we don't necessarily know as of right now because you had such a talented class last year in your first year as a head coach. But who are some of the names that you think we're going to remember come November? Who are going to be some of those breakout players that you expect in 2024?
I think Dominic Atchison is going to have a breakout year this year. He's an extremely talented player, man. He's smart. He throws the ball well. He runs well. He's athletic. He'll do stuff on both sides of the ball for us that are going to be special, I think. Hayden Roper's going to be another one of those kids. That kid's tougher than pine knot, man. He'll tote the ball 20 times a game and have 25 tackles if he can. I mean, he's a tough player. I think Gage Hill's poised to have a really good year as well. So I'm excited to see those guys. And, you know, there's a lot of unknowns for us. You know, those guys are guys that we know. Braden Green's in that same boat. He's going to have a really good year this year, I think. Outside of that, you know, there's a lot of potential, but that's kind of a dirty word in football. You kind of got to see, and with a bunch of young kids, you know, there's a ton of talent in those younger classes. Really probably some of the best young classes I've been around as a coach in terms of depth of talent. But you just got to see, you know, how they respond to live bullets, and when it's Friday night and that game's fast because they're babies and those other kids are seniors, and how they respond. I think that the upside is massive for this group of young kids. It's just going to be a little bit of a baptism by fire early.
And I know you mentioned that with Dom, he'll play a little bit of quarterback too. With a new player under center and new leadership out there at that position, what can you kind of expect from him as your starting quarterback now?
Well, I mean, he's really developing into a leader. He's done a great job. You know, Dom's a really, really smart kid. He's a very good athlete. But he's a little bit quieter, more of a quiet personality. So to see him kind of find his voice as a leader, he's never going to be the loudest kid out there. That's just not him, and that's okay. But he's starting to find his voice as a leader and step into that role as being a guy who kind of leads our team. That's been really, really fun to watch. He'll be, I think, having kind of an electric season. I'm looking forward to seeing him put the pieces together as we continue to develop as a team. It's going to be special, I think.
A little side note, I love that watch.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
It matches, too.
My wife
got
me that.
It's nice. I like that.
I'm not one for getting matchy stuff, but she keeps me in line.
It's nice. Shout out to her.
That's right. That's right.
I want to talk about the schedule a little bit. Or actually, before I go into the schedule, I want to talk about the coaching staff a little bit too.
Yep.
Give them some love, because
Absolutely.
a lot of times we come on this show and we talk about the players each week and their performances, and we don't necessarily ever talk about the coaching staff. And I wanted to do that on the first interview this year and kind of highlight the coaches that you'll see on the sideline this year in black and gold.
Well, Coach Jason Hensley's been defensive coordinator. He'll be in the box for us and does a great job. Does a really thorough job with our defense, and I think he's doing a great job for us. He's kind of my assistant head coach there and helps run things, and there's a lot to manage as a head coach, and it's having somebody that's that experienced and trustworthy behind you really helps a lot. John House and Wes House are both going to help us. John House helped us last year. Wes House is new. His wife works at the high school with us now, and he's coming from Kentucky, and man, he's done a great job of really diving in to that defensive line group, and he brings a lot of film knowledge, which really helps with the cameras and stuff like that. He's got a drone and kind of expand our ability to scout ourselves, which is really helpful. Brad Knight, who's our head wrestling coach as well, and Robbie Stewart are helping with our defensive backs and receivers, and both those guys are new to us and doing a great job. Working every day and doing everything you ask them to, and helping those guys get better. And then Tanner Barkley's helping the running backs, quarterbacks. So it's been a good group. I mean, we've added some faces and kind of developing and filling that coaching staff out a little bit, and it's been really good to see those guys kind of merge together as a group.
At Corner Pond, the friendly and knowledgeable staff has the experience necessary to help you out regardless the need. Have an item of value you'd like to pawn or sell? Corner Pond can help. They pawn numerous items of value, including firearms, tools, ammunition, silver, coins, and much more. When you walk through their doors, you'll find well-stocked shelves full of electronics, gaming systems, fishing and hunting equipment, car audio and accessories. And don't forget about the room full of guitars and basses and amplifiers, or their outside lawn and garden equipment. Corner Pond is a case knife dealer and carries numerous used knives as well. Stop by and let the friendly staff at Corner Pond help you today at 432 East Bernard Avenue, Greenville, Tennessee.
Now let's talk about the schedule a little bit. Same schedules last year.
Yep.
Just different dates. Not different dates, but different venues now. You're flip-flopping home and away.
Yep.
You start out, instead of starting out at home this year, you start out on the road for 2 games. You go to Unaka, and then you go to Granger back-to-back weeks to open up the season.
Yep.
Then you come home for West Green. Then you go on the road for South Green. You get both county games back-to-back in the 3rd and 4th games. And then you start out with your regional play, week 5 at home here against Pigeon Forge. You get 3 straight home games.
Yep.
That first one against Pigeon Forge, then you get Cott County, then you get another region opponent with Claiborne. You go on the road after that to Johnson County, and then you come back home for Unicoi County, and then you go back on the road for Gatlinburg-Pittman. So 4 games to end the season are 4 straight region games, balanced schedule, home and away. So what do you expect this year out of your schedule, and what can you kind of anticipate?
Well, it's a tough schedule for us. Unaka's not a bad football team. Granger's a good football team. We don't have a cupcake on the schedule.
I wouldn't say you do either.
And that's West Green's doing a good job. They're the second year with their head coach, and they're doing a good job and improving. South Green's going to be good again. I think they got the Nash Raider back, a couple other guys. They're going to be explosive. Cott County was young last year. Every one of those guys has got something to make us think about. Granger's quarterback's going to be healthy. They're big up front. Unicoy's going to be really good. They've got all those kids were juniors last year, so they'll be seniors this year and be really explosive. Pigeon Forge had a lot of young kids last year, so all those kids will be a year older.
What a dogfight that was last year.
Oh, man. And Gatlinburg-Pittman's Gatlinburg-Pittman, so Claiborne's going to be tough again, so it's going to be a tough run for us. It's going to be good to see our kids what you don't want to see with a young team is you don't want to roll out there against somebody that you know you can beat by 30, and they beat somebody early that they can beat bad, and they think they're really good and they get complacent. We don't have to fake it to our kids this year. We've got to come to work every week. We got to come to work every week, and we're going to have a dogfight every Friday night, which is equal parts as a coach terrifying and gratifying. It's not good for my blood pressure probably, but it'll be good to see our kids get a chance to compete. I don't look for us to, even as a staff, we don't sit in the meeting room and say, man, we don't chalk up wins this year with this young group and the schedule we've got. We know we got to come to work and we got to continue to develop our kids, and it's good and bad having your region loaded at the end of your schedule, but it gives us some time to hopefully grow up some young kids as we get toward region play and stuff that can determine playoff seeding, and hopefully give us a chance to play later in November.
You kind of got a long stretch without a break. You play 8 games until you finally get to that bye week, but that bye week is kind of at a good time where it's in between those region games where they're lumped together with 4 at the end of the year. Do you like your bye week being, and I guess that would be week 9, in between Claiborne, Johnson County, and Unicoi County and GP?
It's not bad. I like my bye week being on fall break.
Is that when it is?
No, it was fall break last year. So it's not this year. If we can, any coach will tell you it's hard with fall, especially with this many young kids, because parents want to take vacations and you got to fight that battle a little bit. But it's not in a bad spot. It gives us a break there toward the end of the season. As we get toward the end of the region game and then preparing for the playoffs, it gives us time to heal a little bit. And we'll probably have some banged up young kids, because that's what happens. In the schedule we play, we're going to have some kids that are tired, and they're going to need that time off that week to kind of reset and relax. So I don't think it's in a bad spot.
I think it's in a good spot, too, where it's in between all 4 of those games. It's really a good spot to put it. And the last question I have for you, like I mentioned at the beginning of the interview, today, the day that we're recording this, we're 17 days away from football, from kicking off the official regular season. At this very moment, what is your outlook on the season? How excited are you?
Oh, I'm extremely excited. I'd be lying to you if I said there wasn't a little bit of trepidation, because, like I said, there's a lot of unknowns. We've had one scrimmage, and we've got a lot of developing to do. That being said, our upside is really, really high. I feel like this team has a chance to develop, and these young kids continue to develop and build a base for a long time of playing pretty good football here. So I'm excited to see them learn to compete and learn to grow and learn to be the team that we know they can be. So we're excited. I mean, we need all 17 days, but we're excited.
It's going to go by quick, too. Those 17 days are going to fly by.
Blink twice, it'll be gone. We'll be sitting up at Unaka. So
how many more scrimmages do you have left?
We've got 2 more.
2 more? You got the Jamboree?
We're not doing the Jamboree this year.
Okay.
We're going to Sullivan East Thursday. And then next week we'll be here. We'll have Happy Valley and North Green here, do a little three-way, and get after it a little bit, and then we'll be prepping for Unaka. So it'll be here before you know it.
Got Unaka on the 23rd. I believe that's 7:30 kickoff up there. So until then, best of luck. Stay healthy. It was good to see you again. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Thank you.
Love the watch, by the way. Is that going to be a weekly thing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Shout out to Terry's Flooring also for being the title sponsor for Coach Kaylor's show this year. But that's all we've got for the preview edition. So thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Terry's Flooring Billy Kaylor Show. Look forward to seeing y'all next time here on Grassroots Media.